I know who you are. You're that one that everyone's been talking about, aren't you? So is it true? Do you collect words for the Queen? I see. So now, tell me, have you found any yet? Oh, no, I understand you want to keep it a secret. After all, I'm sure if any of these other people in this tavern knew who you were, they'd be all over you like, well, beetles on a honey pile. Now, I only know who you are because I have a sixth sense for these sorts of things. I'm not saying I'm psychic or anything like that. I just, I'm very intuitive, I suppose you could say. There's nothing quite like a cinnamon apple cider, is there? Have you had one yet? Oh, we'll have to remedy that then, won't we? Barkeep, can you serve my friend up a cinnamon apple cider, please? Thank you kindly. I'm in here nearly every night. I get so lonely in my little cabin out in the woods. I'm glad I ran into you tonight, though, I must say. You see, I know the real story behind that box that everyone's talking about. You know that box that you're supposed to unlock with those words you've been collecting? Now, how much do you really know about our Queen? Oh, I see. Well, I have a friend who has a friend who has a friend whose cousin works in the palace. She cleans the floors, polishes the dishes, something like that. I'm not quite sure. But a little birdie told her that the Queen's sister is in town. Apparently, the minute she heard about your arrival, she rushed in to, find out all she could about you and your little mission. See, the Queen's sister, she reigns over the northern parts. Now, legend has it that many years ago, when the monarch queen took the throne, well, her sister was none too pleased about it. See, she had aspirations to take that throne herself, so she settled for the northern territories instead. Mainly because the Queen was backed by our little army. Now, I call it little, but I think there's round about 10,000 people involved in it, and if I'm not mistaken, a group of wayward fairies lead the entire gang. She has a little bit of a militia going as well, from what I'm told. Now, many think that the monarch queen is full of light and rainbows and her sister, on the other hand, she's got more of a dark side, you see. Or so they say. In fact, there's a prophecy. I know there are plenty of prophecies floating around Aramanthius, but this one's quite interesting, if I do say so myself. And, the prophecy says there will be 2 queens born of one mother, that one will be, well, the leader of light, and the other will bring darkness to the realm. Trouble is, we don't know which is which. I've been around for a good century and a half, give or take. And, well, I haven't quite figured out which queen is which yet myself. Now, I know that many of us want to believe that our monarch queen is the one that's beautiful and radiates goodness and hope and, love, but who's to say that that's the truth? After all, couldn't her sister be that bringer of light? In that case, well, that puts you in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? After all, you're running around gathering words for her so that you can open the box. If I were you, I wouldn't just worry about collecting those words of yours, but I'd be careful about who's with me when I open that box. How much has the Queen really shared with you about what she knows? Some of us, a small group, it's growing by the day, we think that the Queen knows exactly what's hidden in that box. We think that she plans to use it to maybe bring a shadow over the realm. Bring the darkness, as the prophecy says. I'm wondering, are you going to help her to do it? If I was in your shoes, and they seem like mighty big shoes to fill, I'd start asking questions. And I'd be careful, of course, about who I bring those questions up with, because there are plenty of sympathizers. Plenty of people who simply adore that monarch queen of ours. But maybe, just maybe, the forgotten queen is the one we need to pay attention to. I'm sure she'd give you an audience, if her sister let you, that is. But maybe there's a way you could, I don't know, sneak in to the palace somehow. Ask a favor of someone to see her privately. After all, you are the word collector. I'm sure she'd be obliging, right? Then again, this all just could be some tall tale told to you in the Tall Tale Tavern. from a lonely woman who lives in a cabin in the woods and has had one too many cinnamon apple sparkling ciders. On the other hand, there could be some truth in it. And you, my